You might be thinking, so what? The more personalisation, the better. The more relevant the offer, the better. We live in an abundant modern landscape surrounded by good things, products, information, social networks. Why is this a problem? Choice, after all, is a good thing. How can we think through the downsides then? First, most obviously, our attention is sometimes captured by things that we want, a good film or article say, but often it's captured by things that we know are bad for us. And second, can our own attentional resources, our capacity to attend to the things we want to attend to, be drained or captured or stolen with such ubiquity, with such all-encompassing frenzy, that we become lost to what our true needs are, what our own sense of self is, our own personhood. Imagine that you live in a polygon, surrounded by doors and windows. One door has your friends in, another is full of windows to different parts of the planet, the universe even. Another full of people talking about the news, another shops, another movies. What a wonderful thing. A good thing. But we're evolutionarily wired to want more of a good thing. And like doors full of sugar, these doors knock. They call us, entice us. Corporations spend billions of dollars trying to improve and decorate these doors and windows. They try and make them seem like theirs are better than others, more urgent to attend to than others. Reed Hastings, CEO of Netflix, said, "At Netflix, we're competing for our customers' time, so our competitors include Snapchat, YouTube, Sleep, etc." One obvious problem with living in the polygon is that you're surrounded by constant knocks, stimulation, notifications, emails, requests for your time. And distractions not only distract at the moment the distraction happens. Studies have shown that your brain trains itself to predict distractions, and so will distract itself in anticipation before the distraction happens. Like expecting that a friend is about to knock on the door in the next few minutes, or predicting that this is about the time you get an email from your boss, or that feeling of waking up just before your alarm goes off. So the more you surround yourself with distractions, the more your brain will interrupt itself from what it's doing, and the harder it becomes to concentrate on the things that matter. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to get into a state of deep focus, a flow state, and only a second for your attention to be grabbed away from it. One study found that being in a distracted environment lowers IQ scores by about 10 points. When we're trying to concentrate in the polygon, whether that's reading, working, watching a film, spending time with family, the temptation to look to the windows is enormous. The average person looks at their phone 150 times a day and touches it. This includes picking up, touching in pockets and swiping as well, around 2,500 times a day. Our attentional resources are drained. We're pulled this way and that by powerful magnets, temptations, siren songs, by sugars, by drugs, by the use of red, by bold emotional language, by the need to keep up, by the need to be liked. The attention economy is an overdetermination, a dizziness, a promise of freedom to pursue desires that ends up as a new type of slavery to our deepest desires. So distraction in itself can be corrosive. And the methods of attention grabbing are only getting better, more persuasive and more enticing. The game is rigged against us. I want to talk about how the psychological tricks attention grabbers use are linked to modern addictions in the next video. But for now, why is it important to escape from the constant competition for our attention and the pathways that leads us down? And how can we do that? Now, there's two solutions. Leave the polygon or attend to the polygon. The centre of the polygon should be where your personhood thrives. Instead, essayist William Dershowitz points out you are marinating yourself in the conventional wisdom, in other people's reality, for others, not for yourself. You're creating a cacophony in which it's impossible to hear your own voice, whether it's yourself you're thinking about or anything else. The Global Emotion Survey, taken every year, reports that levels of sadness, worry, anger and stress, and particularly stress, are increasing year on year, and by almost 50% since 2009. Of course, a lot of things have likely contributed to this, but is the increasing prevalence of smart devices, of always being online, causing overstimulation that leads to a new type of modern or postmodern stress? The term stress, after all, comes from physics, the amount of pressure on an object, the stretching of an elastic band that might be about to break. Is the attention economy the cause of quiet quitting, not doing all the extras a job demands of you, the dropping out of the rat race, the moving out of cities, a response to power lunches, to always being online, to responding to emails and doing one more bit of work at 10 PM, of tweeting about the latest news at 1 AM, of constantly keeping up with every friend? Ethicist James William writes that we experience the externalities of the attention economy in little drips, so we tend to describe them with words of mild bemusement like annoying or distracting. But this is a grave misreading of their nature. In the short term, distractions can keep us from doing the things we want to do. In the longer term, however, they can accumulate and keep us from living the lives we want to live, or even worse, undermine our capacities for reflection and self-regulation, making it harder, in the words of Harry Frankfurt, to want what we want to want. Thus, there are deep ethical implications lurking here for freedom, well-being, and even the integrity of the self. As James points out in his book Stand Out of Our Light, technology should function like a GPS for our goals, guiding us, showing us the latest information about our interests, keeping us updated with what's important. But imagine if our real GPS took us down wrong paths instead of to our destination, to a sale at a department store, rather than to our grandma's.